Thank you so much for joining us today. You are going to love the guests that I have on because I do, and we've just met, but she's amazing, Judy Henderson. She has been through some things in life that are unimaginable, but she is here and she's smiling, looking beautiful. She's written a book about what she's gone through. She's helping other people in so many big ways. And I love that about you, Judy, that you've taken what's been hard for you and transformed other lives because of it. And your book is fabulous and everyone should buy it. We're going to talk about that. And so, Judy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kim. It's such an honor to be here, and I'm so humbled that you're willing to have me on your show. I was so looking forward to this. When I read about you, I thought, oh, I've got to know this woman. So
Well,
thank you.
yeah, well, I appreciate that because, that's how I felt about you. I thought, holy cow, we must know each other. So Judy, you went through, holy cow. If you can just tell us your story, I would love that.
Okay. Well, it's hard to put 36 years into a short span, but I will try to condense it and as much as I can without keeping a lot out. But of course, I want you to buy the book When the Light Finds Us so you can read all the details. But it has been a journey for 36 years, which, it was all my 30s, 40s, 50s, and most of my 60s. So it started, back in 1982 is whenever I went to prison. I was released December 20th, 2017, and I've been able to work and give back and help other offenders come out of prison. I got another lifer out on December 20th of this past year. And so that is amazing whenever I can see them gain their freedom. And what got me here, though, was a journey that didn't take very long. I was a divorced, abused woman in June. I attempted suicide in September. I met my co-defendant in April, and the murder happened in July. So it doesn't take long for Satan to put his grips in you and get you going in the wrong direction with the wrong people. But I did not know that because I was addicted to love. I wasn't addicted to drugs or alcohol. I was addicted to love and wanting to please somebody. And I was put in a very bad position and to where I did witness a murder. He committed the murder, and we both had the same attorney representing both of us. Little beknownst to me, he was also seeing two other attorneys on the side and wanting to be involved with my attorney just so we could make sure that I wasn't going to turn state's evidence against him. So I did not know that. I was very naive to those sort of things. No one in my family had ever been arrested, and I'm the oldest of 8 children. So it was an eye opener, but still not enough to get me to turn my back on him until I got convicted. And then I realized, I look back, hindsight, and isn't that what we do? We look back and say, how in the world did this happen? And so he ended up getting acquitted. But before he was acquitted, he didn't only have two other attorneys, but after I went to prison, he put a contract out on me while I was in prison.
My word.
I would turn state's evidence on him. So, of course, whenever I heard that, I had to take matters into my own hands because, for one, I didn't know what to do in prison. Whenever I was dropped off there, it was like being dropped off into a foreign country and you don't know the language.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Oh,
But you're not only going to prison, but you're going to prison for a crime you did not commit.
right.
You witnessed it, but you had absolutely nothing to do with it.
No.
You never should have gone to prison. And here he commits the crime and
Mhm.
he's acquitted. And
Right.
here you are. And that had to be a scary moment, just even walking in, the thought of, oh my gosh, tomorrow I'm going, you know,
Yes.
and what's it going to be like? Yeah.
And you know what still I remember to this day, and I hear the sounds of my mother in the courtroom whenever they found me guilty of, her sobbing and her tears of her oldest child going to prison. And it was heart-wrenching because my family and I are very close and have been the whole 36 years. They've been one of my biggest supporters, advocates. My daughter, she grew up being one of my big advocates and still is to this day. I love her. She's 10 minutes away. Thank goodness she's close. My son is probably 15 minutes away, so that's all good too. But yeah, and then my family told me that after Greg was acquitted, they saw him at a really higher class restaurant, just giving cheers and everything with with his suit on, and just all of his friends celebrating his victory. And I just wanted to puke. I got very, very angry, very angry. And but I had to maintain who I was and try to keep a hold of the fact that I was not guilty, and I'm fighting this with everything I have. I am going to crawl, I'm going to scrape, I'm going to do whatever is necessary to get home to my children and my family. And so I had to learn how to navigate anger. What am I going to do with this anger? And you can either get bitter or you can get better. And I chose to get better. And by doing that, that meant I had to learn everything I could about what is a clemency? How do I write a brief to a governor? In law school, they don't teach attorneys that. So no attorneys know how to do it either. And so I made it my job to learn. I became a certified paralegal, a dog trainer. I was a fitness trainer for 20 some years, certified, and could come out and be a personal trainer if I wanted to this day, which I still keep my CEUs up. So if I ever choose at my age to teach senior citizens.
Down in the villages in Florida or somewhere.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so I had to learn how to navigate a lot of things in this foreign country. And it wasn't easy. But by the grace of God, he was right there with me the whole time and helped me to navigate it. And like I said, I had a loving mother. She taught me a lot of things about perseverance and resilience. And I took what she taught me, and I first had to have years of therapy to understand, why would I believe, all the things? Why didn't I see the red flags, of this man? And that's when I realized that my addiction was love. I was a codependent on that.
Mm.
So that's the therapy is the one thing that helped me get out of that.
Was there something in particular, like I went to therapy after losing my husband,
I'm sorry.
and there was one thing that the therapist said that changed everything for me. Did you have a moment like that in therapy?
I did have.
Yeah.
I went to children molested as adults, or adults molested as children. I'm sorry. And it was a very powerful group meeting where everybody shared. But then I started going to just a one-on-one therapist. And she said, Judy, the person you're supposed to love the most is yourself. You've got to love yourself, because you can't be good for anybody else if you're not good for yourself. And I thought, oh, how do I get good for myself? How do I love me? And so she started having me doing these exercises about look in the mirror, what is it you like about yourself? What is it you'd want to change? And if it's a hairstyle or whatever, do that. So she had me doing these little therapy type things. And I thought, oh, well, I like that hairstyle, or I like that color of lipstick, or because I never paid attention to me. It was always somebody else. And so, yeah, the therapy just really got me out of the rut. And then my education came with and learning the law. reading every book I could, and became a certified paralegal, and putting other women's clemencies together that theirs were granted. And I
That's so
thought,
fabulous.
wow, and it made me feel good. It was actually twofold, because I was sad because I couldn't go and be with my family, but I was happy that they got to go. You know, it was bittersweet. Um, but all of that made me see that, you know what, there's a purpose in me being here. Look at the other women that I can help, even with motherhood. So many didn't know how to be mothers. So I thought, we need some programs here for mothers to learn how to be parents. And so there were parenting classes that we started. Um, um, Parents and Their Children was a program where the mother would have a visit with just their child and no officers around, excuse me, and they would get to cook a meal with their children. They'd watch movies, play games, and it was just them for the day. But then we thought, you know what? These women need to know how to be parents. So we started parenting classes. Then you had to go through the parenting class before you could have the visit. So they could know how to talk to their children about the interest in their life, or have a subject matter, because they didn't even know how to talk to them. And I thought, how sad, because they grew up like that.
Right, right, right.
So many people in prison are generational,
Mhm.
and that's all their families did, was they became career criminals. So teaching mothers to be more cognizant of their motherhood and their children was just a part of what had to be done, and give them a reason to want to get up every morning, want to call them on the phone, want to send them letters, and learn the child's love language. So we did that.
Wow.
We did that.
They had to make a huge difference in people's lives and women's lives. Just huge. Because I would think that if you're in prison, it's hard to look at the future and
Yes,
start to look at, because tomorrow is going to be the same as today, and the next day.
yes,
So to look farther into the future when you're out and you're
right,
actually able to be with your child,
right.
got to be so, so important to develop the relationship while you're there,
Yes,
like you did with your
yes,
kids. You
yes,
made sure the relationship was strong and
yes.
whatever. So what a beautiful thing that you started there for
Thank you.
those women. Because
Thank you.
chances are really good
Yeah.
that because of what you did, there's not going to be the generational stuff
Right.
with them. Like they're going to end it. They're going to,
Yes, because that program is still ongoing today, so it's still in the prisons. And
yeah,
so that was one way to get the parents to learn how to be parents, learn what your child's love language is, and connect with them.
yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, so good. I am so sad that we're out of time because I could talk to you and talk to you and talk to you. Um, but we're getting really close on time.
Sure.
Book is fantastic. Everybody should buy it because it's not just a story about a woman who went to prison. It's such resilience, and not just resilience, but the things that you accomplished. Judy, I am such a fan. I'm such an admirer. And this is powerful, powerful stuff that you're doing for people. I
Thank you.
appreciate everything that you're doing.
Thank
And go
you.
get the book when the light finds us. Get it. And so how can people find you?
Okay, they can find me. They can go to Judy Henderson. We're going to have, they're putting a website up as we speak. If they don't, they should already have it up. And I'm at Catholic Charities of Kansas City, St. Joseph, 4 days a week, 9.5 hours a day. So I would love for people to connect with me however they want to. And when the light finds us, there will be something in there to tell you how to connect with me also. And Kim, thank you so much for having me on. I could talk to you also forever.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for being here and thank you for joining us today. And until the next time, be blessed.
Yes, you the same.